All right, let's discuss grain here. I want you to look at the cup here because this is really the art form and really one of those things you want to look at. This green is sloping really hard here from the camera's view from right to left. So this side of the cup is nice and clean because when they cut it, they kind of push this down and it's taken the grain off of this side, so it's frayed. So this will tell you which way the grain is going. It's running in this direction. So that is really the key, because grain, when you live in the southern parts, and we're going to pan back here a little bit. So I've got some balls laid up here, and you can really see kind of the slope of this green, how much it's going from my view here from left to right. Again, we've identified high, we've identified low, and again, most greens won't be this severe, so you're going to really have to identify where the low point is. Grain will typically run towards water or towards kind of where the drainage is. And or if there is no water or drainage area, like you can't hard to tell, just understand that the grain will typically run towards the setting sun, okay? So it'll head towards the west. So when you are reading a green, what will grain do? If you live in the north and you play on bent grass, which is a really fine blade of grass, grain doesn't really play that much really, but if you live in the southern half of the United States, you need to understand grain because some courses have a lot of grain, especially in Florida. You need to make sure that, hey, when this thing is breaking, in this case left to right, I want to play more than that because of the grain. You also have to understand that speed. When you look at a green, if I'm looking into this grain, it'll be a dark shade of green. If I look downhill, it'll be shiny. That's a perfect way, and don't look at the mowing stripes, but as a general whole, big wide, external picture view, you'll see it's dark and that will be shiny. When you look at the grain, so now you're going, oh, okay, the grain's going left to right. Man, if I'm going into the grain, this putt will be slow. If I'm going down grain, downhill, and especially downwind, this putt is lightning. It's gonna be tough for me to stop. So make sure you take that into consideration. Good players, as soon as we get onto the green, we go, oh, grain's that way. I'm into the grain, it's gonna be slower, therefore it's not gonna break as much. If I'm going down grain, I'm like, okay, this is fast. I've gotta play more break. Why is that? Because just think about it. If I'm throwing a fastball at you, the gravity doesn't affect it. But if I'm going soft, in other words, this putt is fast, I'm hitting it soft, gravity will take the ball more. So make sure when you are putting down grain and or on faster greens, you play more break. If you're playing on slower greens, take a lot of that break out, hit it through the break, hit it, if you hit it a couple feet by, it won't really affect the 2 feet by won't really do much. A lot of your players will just give you that putt. So read the grain, look at the cup, look for the shininess or the dark, and that is your secret to reading grain and making more putts.